Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Professor Natalie Games. I'm Dr. Natalie Van Duzen, a professor at the University of Alberta, and I am reacting to God of War Ragnarok with gameplay by Cleansed in Fire. Let's get back to it.
We are certain the trace could not still be in Midgard.
I was just there and found no trace. If Odin invited him, he must have provided a way.
No, that is not the only explanation. Tell me where we find these Norns.
I discovered some of their threads near the frozen lake. I stashed one for spellcrafting, but we may also use it to find them. Just remember, they really don't want to be found.
Well, at least things will be difficult for a change.
We should take your sled and head to the lake.
Midgard. How I've missed the freezing gusts and constant raider attacks.
Well, that's because they believe Kratos is responsible for Fimbulwinter, and that killing him will end it.
Where would they get an idea like that?
From me, of course.
Of course.
Come. Quiet. She is a friend. Now.
Better they get this from you. Once the wolves have the scent of the Norns, we'll just need to follow their lead.
I will open the gate. Stop whining.
Their fur is matted. When did you last brush them?
They are wolves.
And matted fur leads to disease. Take care of them and they'll take care of you.
Brother, what exactly do you intend to ask the Norns?
How I may find my son. Nothing more.
You don't imagine it's a chance to clear up all this mess about prophecy? Perhaps get a second opinion on your alleged demise.
You didn't tell me you had a death prophecy?
When Atreus and I reached Jotunheim, we found a hidden mural. The giants, they herself, had foreseen our entire journey long ago. Who we would meet, who we would fight. All of it, as it happened.
But you aren't dead.
That image was from a time yet to come.
I see. You've never struck me as someone who fears death. That's not the problem, is it?
No. Death can have me when it earns me.
Then maybe it's not the future that bothers you. Faye sent you on your journey, and she made sure you'd see that image at the end of it. And you're still not sure why.
I wish to speak of this no further. Now that we are on the lake, how will we find the Norns?
Watch the wolves closely. See how their heads point the way?
Well, the Lake of Nine has certainly seen better days. Raiders have made themselves quite at home.
So I know that this has come up in the comments before, but 9 is like a super significant number in Norse mythology, as it is in many religious traditions. So we have 9s, multiples of 3s of various kinds, but especially 9 is very culturally significant and shows up quite a lot in Norse mythology. So there are the 9 realms. Odin hangs on Yggdrasil for 9 days and 9 nights to obtain knowledge of the runes. It's a number that keeps showing up and is really quite significant in a lot of different ways. So the fact that they're using it here is no coincidence.
You were asking about the thread we're tracking. The Norns use it to mark their way when they're outside of the well.
The Norns live in a well.
No. The Well of Earth, their home, is hard to explain. It's in no fixed place. Entrances come and go. A place wholly under their influence, where the intangible becomes tangible.
So before we actually meet the Norns in the game, I wanted to talk a little bit about how they're presented in Norse mythology. So we find presentations of the Norns and references to them in both Snorri's Prose Edda as well as the Poetic Edda. And according to Snorri, there are three. Their names are Urður, Verdandi, and Skuld. And these mean respectively became, which is the past tense of the verb verða, which is to become, so past, verðandi, the present participle of that same verb, and skuld, which is kind of is to be, so past, present, future, very much equivalent to how fates are represented in other mythologies as well. And according to the mythology, they sit at Urðarbrunner, which is the well of Urd. And supposedly this is in Asgard. In the Cirrus's prophecy, they're described as maidens who are sitting at a lake, and then once again are named Urður, Verdandi, and Skuld. And according to the Cirrus's prophecy, they are the ones who determine the fates of everyone. So not just humans, but also gods as well. And Snorri repeats this in his Prose Edda. And Snorri also tells us in his Prose Edda that in addition to these three named Norns that sit at the well of Urður, there are additional Norns that are associated, some with the gods, some with the elves, and some with the dwarves. So that's something else that Snorri tells us, but I think the Norns that we're probably primarily concerned with are these three who sit at the well of Urður and represent kind of past, present, future.
Did Odin seek the Norns?
Odin made his share of efforts. Wouldn't talk about what he found. Either he gave up, or he wanted to forget what he saw. Freya, you mind telling us what you experienced when you fought the Norns last time?
To be honest, the details are hazy. Like waking up from a dream. Mainly, I remember that nothing could be done to change my son's fate, which only made me more determined to try. This is the right area, but we can't go further on the sled.
I just hope the Norns are somewhere indoors, and warm. Safe to say, no, I have not missed Midgard and Fimbulwinter. Thank you.
We will see soon enough.
The way forward is magically sealed. Something in here is giving it power.
Might I suggest the ominous broken gravestone?
The hilt of a sword.
Brother, I know that sword hilt. Tread carefully. You of all people know how weapons can carry ghosts.
If it does not help us find the Norns, it can.
Okay, so this is a great example. I talked in the last episode about how really famous swords often were named, and usually those are swords that are associated with really famous individuals. So this is Skopnung, and that is an excellent example of such a sword that's named. So this is indeed the sword that belonged to King Rolf Kraki, who is it's the Norse equivalent of the king in Beowulf. So it's the same thing that takes place at the same hall. It's the same legend, but this is in Norse tradition, the saga of King Rolf Kraki. And yeah, indeed, he does have this sword that kind of has its own personality. Also mentioned in other sagas as well, that all kind of attest to the fact that this is a very famous sword and it has very particular qualities. But according to one of my very favorite sagas, the saga of the people of Laxardel, it can't be drawn in the presence of women. So it's a very fickle weapon, attesting again to the fact that, yeah, weapons did indeed have these kind of personalities. And which is why I really like that we have Ingrid, the sword that now Atreus is bearing.
Wait.
Oh, no. There's nothing here.
A false trail.
I'm afraid so. We'll have to see what else the wolves can find.
Typical Nornish mischief.
They know we're searching. I warned you they wouldn't make it easy.
What's the hilt of a cursed king have to do with any of it?
Distraction? Coincidence? Who knows? I suppose they'd say we were fated to find it.
Brother, what of your story? You faced the fates of your homeland, yeah? The legends I heard about the ghost of Sparta were surely exaggerated.
Exaggerated?
Oh, not in the brazen bloodshed righteous fury part. The part where it said you travelled back in time itself to win a battle once lost. It's strange credulity, obviously. I mean, a rumour about Thor knocking the world serpent back in history from Ragnarok is one thing.
It is the truth. The threads of fate span all life and time. The Sisters of Fate abused their power. When I challenged them, they threatened to undo my existence. So I killed them and turned their power on Zeus.
That's the most dangerous and irresponsible thing I've ever heard. These Norns have no such magic, nor does anyone in these realms that I've ever seen.
Aye, can you imagine? If it existed, Odin would have it. And if Odin had it, we'd be 5 shades more fucked than we are already.
I would not ask them to change the past, even if they could. I only want information.
And that's quite dangerous enough, in my experience.
This is the area. Let's see. I feel something. In this direction.
Feel what exactly?
Another illusion. It's coming from this wall. The Norns are hiding something. Oh, no. Nothing. Another dead end.
A trap!
That's all of them. You know, this search will only get more dangerous.
Then we keep looking.
Back to the wolves, then.
This is the place.
More of your friends.
I didn't tell them to be here. I don't know what the Norns did to trick all these raiders into guarding them. Not that they have any idea that's what they're doing.
Freya, thank you for your help. I know this was not your focus.
The sooner we find your son, the sooner you'll be able to focus. I just hope it works.
Just the same. Thank you.
A fine sentiment, but write on a bloody note when we're out of the cold, brother.
Okay. I feel something. It's stronger this time. Over here. This way. Open up. We found it.
Ah, isn't it always the third place you look?
Multiples of 3.
Is everyone hearing that creepy whisper?
It is like an itch in the mind.
It means we've stepped into their domain. Be ready for anything.
Illusions.
Projections, possibly. But assume nothing. There's no telling what manner of creature they've made unwitting gods.
Delightful.
Kratos, Ghost of Sparta, Bane of Olympus, Destroyer of Fate, Cruel Striker, Bringer of War, Weapon of the Gods, turned against his creators. He chases a redemption he knows he can never deserve. He cannot change.
Are we in our own minds yet? He certainly seemed real enough.
I hate to tell you, the parts in your mind will be real too.
Seems he was guarding that way outside.
This place almost looks familiar, but different. Like a confused memory.
A rather hostile memory at that.
These fates should know I will not be deterred.
the Vanir, master of magics, queen of the Valkyries, witch of the woods, Frigg of Asgard, destroyer of all she would hope to protect. She always finds somebody to blame. She cannot change. Mimir of the Aesir.
Ah, here we go.
Counselor to kings. Merry wanderer of the woods. Robin of the Goodfellows.
Let me guess. I'm a long-winded know-it-all and I cannot change? See? You forgot smartest man alive. I suppose there's one small consolation to this ordeal. At least we won't have to introduce ourselves.
Don't credit your reputation, Mimir. They see the whole lives of any who approach them.
A phantom!
The Norns have a phantom? Of course the Norns have a phantom!
This way.
The Norns are somewhere in that cave just ahead.
There's that itchy sound again. Normally I don't mind ladies whispering in my ear, but this is positively irksome.
Anyone ever tell you that you babble when you're terrified?
Terrified? I'll have you know I'm at the very most deeply apprehensive. And breaking tension with humor is the sacred duty of a traveling companion. How very dare you! Babbling!
A door.
Oh, that looks official.
Mother,
My boy.
I can feel everything.
Baldur, listen to me, please.
Stop! Why did you bring him here? You are not welcome here!
Wait! Baldur, come back! Talk to me!
It's all you're doing, Mother! I am so sick!
You will not touch him! You will not harm him! Nobody harms my boy! But me! No!
Freya!
Brother, over here! Come get me! I want none of this!
Mimir!
Secret? Brother, hold off!
Why did you never turn on Odin?
But I did! I tried to stop him any way I could!
Don't lie to me!
No!
You served Odin from the day you met to the day he put you in that tree! You sought his favor! You plotted his wars! You watched him mistreat everyone and everything! And you never gave a death until he turned on you!
I know, Secret. It's true. All of it. But for love of you, I became a better man. A counselor for peace. An ally to all those
Were you an ally to Freya in her suffering? To Skadi? To Groa? Or to Tanya? No! You always took the side of the powerful men who used them!
Brother, watch out! There's more of them!
Even now, you see a violent god in need and you can't help but aid him and call him brother! It's who you've always been! It's who you are! And it's who you always will be!
It is not her.
No. Of course. You did what you must. Brother, the tree! It's pulling me in!
Mimir!
Mother, help me! Monster!
Atreus! I am coming!
Why didn't you trust your own son?
Don't let him take me!
Atreus!
I'm scared!
Why wouldn't you see him the way he wants to be seen?
I'm not safe with him! Oh, Father, help me! He's a monster!
I think it's over. Did we pass the test?
Didn't feel much like succeeding.
I see the door has disappeared.
Or it was never there.
They toy with us still. What is that?
A kelpie. Don't see many of those in these parts.
She must be theirs.
Will she take us to them?
I'll ask her. Nicely. Easy, girl. Easy. That's right. Good.
Care to talk about whatever the Norns put you through?
No.
Get on.
That's a good lass. Lovely creatures, but temperamental by reputation. In my land, they'd keep children away from the lost by telling them a kelpie would drown them. Of course, no kelpie I know would do such a thing. Unless it was disrespected.
It walks on water.
Aye. No mystical water steeds to speak of in Greece, brother?
There were the hippocamps. They served the sea god. I battled one upon a titan.
That might not be her favorite subject. We're here.
Fate's own hideaway. Never doubted we'd make it.
Kratos, Freya, and Mimir's head. Enter the home of the Norns, tentatively. They have finally reached their destination. Kratos speaks first.
I seek my son.
You know the child is in Asgard. No, you seek what all who search for us seek. To know the ending to your story. The ghost of Sparta furrows his brow menacingly. He resists the urge to grunt. Oh, he fails. You come to us, piteous archetypes, seeking freedom from your scripts. As if knowing your lines would grant you the power to rewrite them.
Speak plain.
You will die, Kratos of Sparta.
But you called him the Destroyer of Fate. There must be a way to subvert destiny.
There is no destiny, Puck. The protagonists are speechless. They do not understand. There is no grand design, no script. Only the choices you make. That your choices are so predictable, merely make us seem prescient.
When my son was born, shut up! Your prophecy said he would die a needless death.
And he did. Because you could not let him go. Because he thirsted for revenge. And because you kill gods.
But what Kratos did, it was not out of hate.
Should I bring him a crown then? He still slays gods, but now he's sad about it? You are the sum of your choices, nothing more. And because your choices never change, you will learn that Heimdall intends to kill your son in Asgard, and you will do what you do best. And then Ragnarok. The skies burn, the curtains fall. Exunt omnes.
Heimdall.
Again, he misses the point. Focusing on the second act to the exclusion of the final. A common mistake in storycraft.
We are leaving.
He stomps away, followed closely by Freya.
I enjoyed your story, Kratos. Pity it has to end so soon.
Okay, so just so that I don't forget, I love that Verdandi, which is, you know, basically the equivalent of present, so it's things that are happening, is narrating things as they're happening. I also like that they are portrayed as sort of the maiden, the mother, and the crone, in sort of the way that they have Urður as the crone, Verdandi as sort of the mother, and then Skuld as the maiden for past, present, and future. So it's at once kind of uniquely Norse, but also really recognizable in terms of the fates as you see them in other cultures and other mythologies as well. I also really like that they're kind of using this imagery of threads, because something that is often kind of used in depictions of Norns is this idea of them weaving people's fate. And I sort of see these as, you know, maybe being threads or something like that that could be woven, and that the Norns are indeed weaving in kind of the way in which they make people's fates.
Well, that was educational.
Let us leave this place.
Happily.
That's better. I can feel things getting more normal already.
Wait. That tree.
Well, isn't that interesting?
What is this?
That's the noose, brother. The one Odin hanged himself with. As part of his endless, mad quest for secrets of life and death and what have you.
What are you doing?
It's a charged object, significant to Odin. Perhaps I'll find a use for it.
Brother, what they said about the boy?
Will not happen.
Oh, I agree.
It will not happen. We will not let it.
Of course we bloody won't. The question is how. You wouldn't seriously consider killing Heimdall, would you?
I will do what I must.
Oh, is that all?
You're wrong to dissuade him, Mimir. You know Heimdall.
I grant you that he's a spiteful, vicious little shit.
And so loyal, Odin entrusted him with Gallifrey. If we have the chance to eliminate him before Ragnarok, we shouldn't hesitate.
Considering his powers of foresight alone, that is an if of mountainous size. Even supposing we're all perfectly comfortable plotting an assassination, and I, for one, am a mite rusty at that measure, we've got no way to reach Heimdall, and no way to kill him if we did.
I have killed gods greater than him.
I don't doubt that, brother, but it's hardly my point. Look, I think we're missing the Norns' message here. We've all got our tendencies, and yours is to run headlong into danger to protect the ones you love.
I do not intend to change. Not about that.
Why should you? Apparently my tendency is to kill the ones I love.
Freya,
I don't need you to comfort me. Either of you.
Their accusation was cruel. None of us believe...
The truth can be a cruel thing. Anyone care to argue with that?
no. But Baldur's fate had many causes. Prophecy among them.
How do you mean, brother?
There are many tales in my homeland of those who fulfilled prophecy by attempting to avoid it. So it was when Freya tried to protect Balder, and so it was when I accused my son of going to Asgard.
Then we agree. It'd be foolish to go after Heimdall.
No. If Heimdall must die for Atreus to live, then Heimdall must die.
How can you say that, knowing what you know?
Because if Heimdall is a threat to my son, I must act. It is my...
Your nature. Well played, Norns.
Okay, so I was really, really, really looking forward to meeting the Norns, and this absolutely did not disappoint. I enjoyed that so much. I've talked kind of throughout this series, as well as in the series of God of War 2018, about the importance of fate in the world of Norse mythology and kind of more generally in the world of the sagas, as something that really is believed to have kind of governed the lives of everyone. And I like how they make reference to the prophecy that Faye has and how it is a prophecy of kind of a long series of events, kind of an entire lifetime of events that has to do with Kratos and Atreus, and how things are going to unfold exactly as they are all the way up until the end. Because sometimes in the sagas, we actually have things like this happen, oftentimes in the form of dreams that predict kind of, you know, an entire lifetime for a particular character, and how things are going to unfold exactly in a number of different ways, having to do with, you know, marriages and deaths and betrayals and things like that as well. I already mentioned a little bit about the Norns and what their names mean. I really like the visualization of Urðarbrunir, or the Well of Earth, and I think that was really, really cool. And yeah, I don't think there was much else to comment on here. Really excited to see what happens next, and whether you're going to indeed kind of go to Asgard and attempt to kill Heimdall before he and Loki can face off, as is kind of a prophecy in the mythology that those two are going to face off at Ragnarok. So very much, once again, in line with these sources, these game developers knew what they were doing. So thank you so much for this, and thanks for watching. Thank you, as always, to the amazing Cleansed in Fire for this fantastic gameplay, and thank you to all of you who tune in, who watch, who comment, and who are along with me for this ride. I also did want to say that once I finish with God of War Ragnarok, I plan on reacting to Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I have the game. I will be playing that one on my own and then reacting to it. So that was another one that I reacted to, I guess, kind of different clips of for Gameology, and I'm really excited about that one for a number of reasons. So that's the plan of where I'm going to go next once I have finished up with God of War Ragnarok. But I do plan on also doing kind of a retrospective where I give kind of my overall thoughts and reactions to this depiction of Norse mythology, which I can already say is going to be like a highly favorable review. It is an adaptation that I recommend to anyone with an interest in kind of popular culture representations and adaptations of Norse mythology and the Viking world in general. So with that being said, I will log off, and I will see you on the next episode. Thanks again.